Z,
Subject.
before this week, what was your extent of horror media consumption?
We all know, I've said it on the podcast plenty of times before. I don't like horror, right? That means most of anything that I've seen before would have been Chucky, It, the other It, Chapter 2. Pretty sure, which one was the dude in the hotel that was going crazy and killing everybody?
The Shining.
The Shining. Yeah. That's pretty much it.
Because he got it, and then he is pretty much free. See,
Okay.
I don't know why, but growing up, I don't want to say I enjoyed, but when it came to the feeling of fear, I kind of sought after it in a way. I was always fascinated by it. Like a lot of YouTube I watched was like animated scary stories, like shout out Llama Arts. If anybody's out there, a Llama Arts person. I used to watch Llama Arts all the time. I would watch like Chills, number 15, Ghost on an Airplane. This man was doing his job cleaning an airplane when something unexpected happens. You know, that was actually How would you rate that Chills impression of?
Probably about an 8.
But see, when it came to like horror movies, I was never a horror movie person. Mostly because it was rated R. I didn't even play Call of Duty until I was like 14. You know, there was no way my parents were letting me. I did, however. I walked downstairs one time. My mom was watching Saw with a couple friends in the living room. And it was that scene where the chick, I don't know which Saw it is, but she has the reverse bear trap on her face. You know, that famous one where it rips your face open? It was that one, and the TV comes on. It's, "Hello, Amanda. I would like to play a game." And I had nightmares about that for weeks.
Oh, hell no. No, I remember I did watch like Human Centipede. That one
God,
gave me nightmares as well.
See, contrary to the list we're about to go over, I hate body horror. I hate which
really?
The Thing has a lot of body horror. Spoilers for the movies, but you read the title. Well, I guess you saw the thumbnail. Unless you're listening to audio. Spoilers, I guess. The Thing has a lot of body horror, and The Mist has some elements of body horror in it.
Enough.
But if the entire movie is body horror, Human Centipede, movies like Tusk, Saw, I'm good. I'm out.
Dude, Human Centipede was... gosh. I don't know how I got forced into watching that.
No.
Didn't they make a second one?
They made a couple.
Oh, hell.
Yeah. My lady has got me way more into horror. Like all these movies. Yeah, The Thing, The Mist, and A Quiet Place. All of these are within the last like 6-7 years.
That's actually false.
What?
Wait, no. Never mind. Never mind.
Were you saying I thought they came out in the last 6-7 years?
No, It took me a second to pick up on that. That's what it was.
Yeah. So like I said, I watched Goosebumps when I was little, you know?
Yeah.
That spooked the shit out of me. I watched video. There was a TV show. I don't know why it was playing here. Do you remember Phaser Craze? Did you ever go to Phaser Craze?
Yeah.
Dude, so obviously y'all don't live in, I think it was in Murfreesboro.
It's in Murfreesboro,
Phaser Craze is a laser tag place. Very fun. But for some reason, I was there with my church, and they were playing a show on one of the TVs that was about these people retelling their experience in a haunted house. And my eyes were glued to it. And I even had one of the church leaders go, "Hey man, you might have some nightmares." And I went, glued to it.
Said, okay.
Yeah, no. I
Hell
vividly
no.
remember in one of the shows I watched, this guy was talking about his apartment and how creepy it was. And there was a point where all his lights were off, and he reached around the corner of his like kitchen entrance to get the light switch. And when he grabbed the light switch, and immediately he felt, and I was
hell no.
dude, I watched that and I was like, gone. And now I have a looming terrification, if you want to say. Every time I have to look at a light switch before as I'm going for it. No, dog.
No. Hell no. See, no. I don't think I have anything. I didn't watch anything, so it wasn't much to scar me like that.
You didn't seek out scary stuff?
Fuck no.
Not even Ghost Adventures?
Nope.
Yeah,
absolutely not.
You didn't want to watch Zach Baggins look at a guy and be like, the spirit is telling me to beat the shit out of you. Legit. That's what he would say. That's what he would say.
See, I don't even know who that is.
You don't know who Zach Baggins is?
No. I know who Bilbo Baggins is.
I think his name's Zach Baggins. If I'm messing it up, I don't care. He's a dickhead. He has this museum of haunted objects, right? Mm-hmm. And he has this one thing known as a Dybbuk box. A Dybbuk box is this like wardrobe looking thing, but it's like small. And I believe it's like a Jewish culture thing where a demonic entity is trapped inside of it, right? Mm-hmm. Well, Zach had Post Malone visiting this museum, and he thought it'd be a funny little prank to open it, right? You're not supposed to open it, according to the stories, which scared the shit out of Post Malone so bad, he grabbed Zach and hauled ass out the museum. He was like, no.
Why would you leave it open?
Yeah, but apparently Post had he had a plane he was supposed to be on. It crashed, but he wasn't on it because he was just late for it. He was involved in a car accident soon after that. So he's like, I'm not saying it's true, but.
Damn right.
It's like those stories surrounding Annabelle, that Annabelle doll, where apparently people go up and fuck with it, and then they just die shortly after. Like there's a famous story of this guy walking up, looking Annabelle in the eyes, and saying, "You fake piece of shit, you're nothing." An hour later, he's on the side of the highway, just thrown 100 feet off his motorcycle, you know?
Okay, that sounds like I can't remember where this is, but it's in a forest somewhere overseas. I believe it's in Asia, where you're not supposed to disturb this one tree. And this group of hikers that, just, go out around hike places, they went there, and it's like a pretty big hike, through that trail they were on. And about halfway through, they recorded themselves fucking with the tree and throwing it over a cliff and shit. And they were never seen again. People search parties went to find them, and they found the phone where that recording was on, but they never actually found the people.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See, I thought you were talking about the suicide forest. I can't remember what it's called, but that's in Japan,
That's in Japan, yeah.
Americans would know it as the Logan Paul forest.
Yeah.
Guys, I think there's someone over there. That video was so fucked. I heard so many stories about that. When I saw that, I was like, man, that's bad. But when you really look, he's apologized for it. So whatever. But his camera guy goes up to it. He's like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, this guy actually hung himself. What the fuck?
Yeah, I did see the video when it came out. And then I noticed that it was down shortly after. And I was like, rightfully so.
Yeah. Even in a dickhead young guy thing, I would never think to record a guy who just hung himself and go poke at his body and shit.
Yeah, nah, I'm good. That's calling the cops first, before anything else, and then I'm walking away and sitting somewhere for them to come.
But the real question I really wanted to ask was, what do you think makes an effective horror media thing? What is the one thing that it seems like this is the most effective in getting you scared?
Sounds.
Like
I listen for sound cues a lot. That's how
Yeah.
I know a scare is coming. And chapter 2 was really good at screwing with me for that.
Yeah.
Because you would think that something's going to happen, and then they don't provide any sound cue, but it's just there slightly in the back, and you're like, I see it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then other spiders, really.
So you had fun with the mist?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh man, do I have a story about that? No, I can see what you mean, especially when like the tension, like a long drawn out musical score, just a sound. I can see where you're coming from. Have you ever seen Psycho?
Nope.
That movie, when I watched it, I was not expecting to get scared at all, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's a scene where the private detective is walking through the mansion, and that, like, it's just slow music that's all like quiet and whatever, but it's like it's building up like he's in the house. Like, so he walks up the stairs and it seems like everything's cool, and then the Psycho song, right? It's everywhere.
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times, I didn't think it would scare me. But he's walking down the stairs, and then it just snaps. Full volume, it plays, and Norman Bates rushes him. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ!
That's hilarious. And I could feel that, yeah. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And consuming this much horror, people... we'll get into the movies in a second. I'm so sorry we're dwelling on this for a little bit, but people talk about jump scares being annoying. Yeah. An effective jump scare is cool, but if I'm an hour into the movie and it's been nothing but jump scares, I'll be like...
Yeah.
At that point, I'll just be like, give me my money back. This is ridiculous.
Some point you start throwing up your fist.
Yeah. But what we did, and this is a series that we've had, I believe just this year, I think, that we came up with this idea.
We've been running it since the beginning.
Have we?
Yeah.
It does not feel that long. But I guess, anyways, doesn't matter. 3 movies. We watch 3 movies and decide on a topic or whatever we really want to do. And obviously it's October. It's Halloween month, Spooktober, whatever you want to do. Z, as you've just learned in these 13 minutes, not a horror guy. Never really has been a horror guy. Never seeked it out. We also have a video from last year, I want to say, where we react to some scare videos. The quality, bit crap, but it's an entertaining video. It's an entertaining video to go watch. Yeah. So go watch that if you want to see me and Z get a little spooked. But I introduced Z to my 3 favorite horror movies that I've picked up, which is A Quiet Place, The Mist, came out in 2007, and then The Thing, which came out in 1982. We discussed this before. Let's start off with A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
So, Quiet Place, 96% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes with an 83% from the audience. $17 million $17 million budget, made $341 million. My God. God, turned a hell of a profit. Directed by John Krasinski, who also stars in it with his wife, Emily Blunt. And I love this movie. I really, really love this movie. Overall thoughts before we get into what the plot is.
Overall thoughts, honestly, it was the best ranked movie of the 3. So wasn't bad.
In terms of your rank?
In terms of my rank.
Okay. I really, people say it all the time. This is one of the best talked about horror movies. That's why it got a second movie and also a prequel, because it's very popular and it continues to be popular for good reason. Because I've watched silent movies before, but a movie to where it's so little talking and every sound is amplified because you're supposed to feel the real weight of how loud humans can be.
Yeah.
It really works. You really get sucked into the movie, and every sound you're just like,
you really realize how loud some sounds are when everything else is quiet.
yeah. Apparently audiences in theaters, snack stands, concession stands saw a drop in purchasing because people would walk in there with a bag of chips and just go, just can't make a sound, and it was quiet the entire time.
Yeah.
Which, that's how you know you were effective in your goal.
Mm-hmm.
But A Quiet Place starts off with a bit of bad parenting, if I must say so myself. So, the beginning, you see this family of 5. You got John Krasinski, who plays the dad, Emily Blunt, who plays the mom, the 2 kids who are irrelevant, and the youngest kid. Now, this youngest kid wants a spaceship toy. Don't we all? Kid's like 6 years old. Wants to go to outer space. I was in love with space. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But he gets this toy, and his dad is like, yo, too loud. Can't have it. So he takes the batteries out of this thing, puts the toy of the space shuttle and the batteries right next to each other on a shelf, hightails it out the store because they're going back to the house. The daughter, who's deaf, by the way, important, who's deaf, puts it back together and hands it back to the kid.
No, she does not.
Okay, hands the ingredients back. No, she just
she gave him just
she
gave him the rocket. Yeah.
Okay, she gives the rocket back. Older sister feeling bad. I remember doing that shit all the time. I know you were an only child, but dude, the amount of shit where my parents told my younger siblings no, and I was just like, don't worry about it. Just like get you another cookie. Nobody will know, right? Nobody will know.
Nice. Yeah.
And then I'm falling asleep here and and I'm like, yikes.
See, the issue I had with that whole scene was Dad could have just said yes, took the batteries out, put them away, handed the kid the toy. That would have been perfectly fine and dandy. Sure, he decided to say no, but then he leaves them open. The kid's not stupid. I mean, he's a dumbass, but he's not stupid. So he's just like, after his other kid, the sister, hands him the toy, he's just like, yeah, they all leave him by himself in that store with the batteries right fucking there. Like, he's not going to fucking grab them.
No, yeah, we'll get to every single mistake that leads to this bad parenting, that leads to this tragic accident, all right?
Yeah.
So everybody leaves the store after she gives him the shuttle, and then he looks at the batteries and grabs the batteries, and starts walking as the youngest child at the back of the line with the 2 parents
with sound
at the
aliens.
front. The 2 parents at the front. Whatever, they're walking all the way back home. All of a sudden, he's got the batteries back in. He presses the button. Making all this noise. Dad runs, tries to grab him while you hear all this ruffling in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Kid gets yanked. Kid gets snatched up. Title screen. That's how the movie starts. Now, what I will say is this is effective in shocking you because they killed the youngest kid in the first 15 minutes of the movie. It establishes the monster and what attracts the monster, right? And it also establishes these parents suck. These are bad parents. So, he already pointed out the first one. Why don't you just let the kid have the toy without the batteries?
Yeah.
See, my first thought is, even there's no sound, he has an entire radio room of electronics. It seems like batteries, good charged batteries, you kind of need those. So why are we just leaving them?
Yeah. And it seems like, I don't know what the deal is, but they seem to just have power. So it might be cool.
It's a farm. You got generators and stuff,
Yeah, but generators make noise. Where would those generators been?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. But as it's established, like a long, constant noise doesn't really, they don't really go for.
It's loud when you can. I mean, you can make loud. You can make noises that aren't as loud. Because since it's already covered up.
Well,
and
I'm
since
saying
it's constant, like a river or some shit. So I mean, yeah, generator would sure make sense, but
yeah,
I'd imagine so would an electric plant.
But also, why is the youngest kid, in the back of the line, all the way in the back? And the two parents are up front. Me and my lady were talking about this. You got one parent in front, one parent in the back, kids in the middle. That's how it goes. Yeah. Why is the youngest one in the back? The one you know that's going to make the most noise. Because he's the youngest.
Mm-hmm. The one least likely to follow directions as you give them.
Anyways, but that was day 89. Yeah. When we come back, it is now day 472.
Now pause. It has already been established that the mom was pregnant on day 89, correct?
No.
Yes.
When?
She had a bump, like at the beginning of the movie.
I did not see that.
Yeah, I watched this movie with my mom and we both called it out. And then, of course, day 473, she was still pregnant. And I was just like, it's been over a year, right? My mom was like, yeah. I may be mistaken, but I feel like I called this out with her. We were just like, what?
I think you are. I think you are mistaken. Because I remember her of course, would you have a bump that early into a pregnancy?
I mean,
it depends when you got pregnant, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do not remember her having a bump. You're right. Day 472, it is a year and a couple months in. Maybe 6 months in.
Yeah. It's a year and a couple months. I don't think like 6.
Honestly, my whole point is to criticize them for fucking during the apocalypse. Why are you fucking?
Yeah, that's true.
Not that, you weren't taking proper precautions. A, B, how, you holding each other's mouths closed? What's going on? Okay, humans have needs. I get that, but my God, what are we doing?
They had a whole silent room, I get the one that they weren't sure worked until they had the baby, but I guess.
And my lady looked at me and she said, "You said you wouldn't try anything," and I went. She said, "Yeah, so shut the fuck up."
I may be lying. It's just the dress.
Yeah, yeah.
In certain angles.
Anyways, she is pregnant at this point. It is now day 472. She is pregnant with 2 weeks until the due date, which, spoiler, she didn't even make the 2 weeks, but it's 2 weeks until the due date. And again, once they got that positive, I don't know, man. It's like, that's... they had a plan. Great, they had a plan.
What could you do?
But my God, here you see the daily duties of whoever. The mom is making dinner, the dad's out in the field clearing something, redoing the path and shit. You see that they got a clear system for surviving this. And what you also see, in which this is great world building, in my opinion, and it really intrigues you to see what is going on outside this family, is there's a room where the dad is messing with this radio, trying to see if there's other people out there that can help, right? They can meet up with or whoever. And in this room, you see newspaper clippings and stuff like that where it's labeling they're attracted to noise. This is how many people died. These countries are affected now. Yada, yada, yada. He has a whiteboard where he's looking for the weakness of it. Confirmed things because they don't know what it is on there. And I say that's great world building because I'm like, how were those newspapers able to get those out? How were they able to start to get the research done, get in the room, type it out, and then mass produce these. Of course, the world didn't collapse in a day, but I'm saying this is what opens up to, you know, a Quiet Place day one being.
I was gonna say, if day one, I feel like day one would have had to have retconned it, just considering the trailers that I have seen, just with that world building. But I mean, generally, I imagine it all didn't happen at once. Of course, there would have been some sort of like news about it, and I mean, newspapers are keen on quick turnaround times, so I'd imagine they would get that out pretty damn quick.
And of course, if you turn on the TV, it should have just blasted, "Don't watch this." It should have been just a picture that said, "Turn off the TV right now. Turn it off."
It's your little big ass horn.
Read the news. But that's what I think like part 2 does really well, is really expand it to other people and survivors. I was nervous about part 2, and of course we didn't watch part 2. But I thought part 2 was going to go in like, because at the end of this movie, jumping forward a little bit, you see that they found the weakness, and literally the last shot is the mother cocking a shotgun, right? Yeah. Fresh off of giving birth, by the way. Mm-hmm. Like, gave birth days 30 ago. Minutes prior.
It was days ago from that point. Because they had the kid, they had slept.
It wasn't days. It wasn't days.
It was like a day or two.
A day, maybe. But cocks the shotgun and then cut to black. I thought the next movie was going to be, okay, now we're just mowing down these guys.
That's what I think. That's what I thought, at least.
It's not, which is great. And it also, it shows another weakness these things have, which is great. But
cool.
Getting back to this movie and skipping ahead, because in between you just see like, you meet a guy whose wife had recently died and he screams in an effort to kill himself.
Now, why did that man not wait for them to pass? Like, why couldn't he just, be chill about it?
I mean, grief, Also, I mean, John was kind of just sat there going,
because he has his fucking kid with him. He's like, yeah, don't fucking do it.
Yeah, but he has like 20 seconds to start getting out of there. And he doesn't start getting out of there until the guy screams.
He could have kept walking and backing up, just like, hey, don't, just hold on a second. Just hold on. Let me back up first. Let me keep going this way, and then you can do your thing.
Putting another point, bad parent. As soon as you see wife dead, old man crying, holding his lips together, you dip. There is none of this. No, get the fuck out of there.
I mean, it's kind of established towards the end of this movie that I think this guy's an idiot. So
the dad,
yeah,
partially. But the big conflict of the movie is him and his daughter, because his daughter feels extremely guilty over the death of the youngest son, and she feels like he blames her for it, which he doesn't really deny. Him and his son are talking about it, and he's like, do you blame her for it? And he kind of just looks at him and doesn't answer the question. And he's like,
no, I think he said he doesn't blame anybody.
No, he said, do you blame her for it? He didn't answer the question. And then he said, because she blames herself and she thinks she's at fault. And then he says, it's nobody's fault. So that's the closest you got to an answer. That's still not an answer. I mean, just looking at your kid after, that's not, that leans a certain way. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like he was trying to decide for himself if he blamed her or not. Like,
which he probably does subconsciously. He probably does.
I mean, he didn't act like it, really.
I mean, of course, because like you're eventually, that thought of like it's her fault, it gets shouted down by the other part in your brain where it's like, I'm her dad and she makes mistakes, And also she's deaf. She doesn't know that it made all that noise. She didn't know. Also, she didn't know the dumbass kid would get the batteries from the shelf. Yeah,
so I feel like she handed it to him with the intention of him still having just the toy, and then he decided for himself to grab those fucking batteries.
So part of him probably does blame her, but again, it's shouted down as it should be by like, I'm her father. She's a kid who makes mistakes. She didn't know it was going to make all that noise, and she didn't know what was going to happen. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean he still doesn't blame her a little bit for it.
I mean, fair enough, I guess.
It's a tough situation to be put in. And parents go through like years of therapy to admit that they blame their kids for some things. It's a shitty thing to do, but parents blame kids for stuff that goes wrong, you know? Now, if, you know, whatever. But in between that, you get like a W patriarchy moment, you know, a based John Krasinski moment where she's like, no, I want to go. My brother's a little pussy. My brother's a little pussy bitch who doesn't want to learn survival. I'll learn it. And he's just like, no, you got to help your mother. You got to do the woman stuff. No, we're going to go do the man stuff with my pussy bitch of a son. My wife's going to slap the shit out of me if she listens to this.
Yeah. I was just going to let you go off, buddy.
But they get back and the mother's water is broken. She's having the baby.
She and I remember she had flipped the lights to red.
Yeah,
because there was also a monster there.
Yes. See, I just went. It's red for alarm. It's also red for like the water broke. But I guess
it was. She did it before the monster. So.
Yeah. So her water breaks, and as she's moving up, she realized there's one of them in there in the house, and also there's one in the field. Not good. And basically, what has to happen now is they have to light off fireworks because it's established a bigger noise attracts these things away from a smaller noise. And obviously, having a baby, not a small noise. Not a small noise at all.
Nope.
So tension. Monster almost gets to her, but she screams just in time for the fireworks to go off. Has the baby. There's a bit of a thing where you think that she got taken in the tub, but she's really in the shower because she slaps her hand against the thing.
Yeah.
She's fine. They put the baby in the box. The two kids are in the field, and Dad has to go.
They're on top of the corn tower.
Yeah, and they fall into the silo, which...
Yeah.
Dumbass kids. Dumbass. Even, that was a stupid... Like, I get you're having problems with your dad, but he's like, we have to stay here. He's gonna come for us. And the daughter's like, no, he's not. What do you mean, no, he's not?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
No, he's not.
I get you're having problems with your dad, but you think he's like, fuck those kids?
Right?
I mean, he's a shit dad, but he's trying. He's trying.
I say they got lucky that the alien gave up on them inside that silo.
I mean, I would too. It was right. Fuck this shit, man. Golly. But skipping forward a little bit, they find themselves trapped in a truck with this thing just slamming its hands and trying to rip them out of there and whatever. And the dad throws down his, what was he holding?
Axe.
Like a axe?
Yeah.
First of all, he picked up that axe and it made just a hang just coming out of that thing. And one of them knew to wait for him to walk out of the shed and didn't attack him until he swung at it. And then it slapped him. I was like, okay, we're breaking the rules of this universe a little bit.
They went for each other at the same time. He was trying to preempt it.
Yeah, no, they did. But it knew to wait for him. Because it knew he was there. How? Yeah, the axe coming out of the thing, but it was the slightest.
Yeah, but like you hear the amplification of noises and what they would hear. That's not that quiet for them.
Yeah, but you can't echolocate him. You may try to attack the axe location, but he's not there no more. It waited on the roof for him to walk out. I guess you could say footsteps. They haven't been able to track footsteps the entire movie.
They've been walking on sand the entire movie.
It's a little thing. But this thing attacks him, puts him out of the job, and then the son opens the door and screams for him. The pussy bitch of a son, the dumb, useless kid, who I think has a bigger role in the second movie that actually makes him not as useless, but he's pretty useless, pretty much a detriment to this family, this entire movie. which gets this thing to jump on top of the truck they're trying to hide in, rip at it. Dad drops the axe, tells him he loves him, and I've always loved you in sign language, which got, you know, I know you don't have a dad, but, you know, memories of my dad. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I was not ready for that. We gotta be real here. That came out of left field, and I was not ready for it.
Man, you turned around to a left hook, and you were like, what the hell, man?
I got it. That wasn't a stray. That was aimed at me.
Yeah, no. That wasn't from the back. That wasn't anything. That you turned, looked into that barrel, and went, E2, Brutus? And I shot, and I pulled the trigger.
Jesus Christ. I call the dad an idiot for that entire part. Like, the kid's dumb for opening the door, standing up, and screaming in the first place. But the dad had a whole shed next to him. If anything, he had an axe in his hand, and he had a whole thing that could make a lot of more noise and draw them towards it. That would have saved both him and the kids.
You telling me he should have thrown the axe in that bitch?
And yeah.
Like, have it rattle around in there?
Yeah.
I guess so. But the kids weren't the kids screaming in the truck? Like,
no.
Oh, that got out. No?
No, the thing just knew they were in there because of that previous scream.
Well, we gotta sacrifice. So dad says that, then he screams, thing takes him away, and the kids put it in neutral and kind of just ghost ride the truck to the front of the house.
Ghost ride.
And then they get in the basement. And throughout this movie, you have seen that they've been putting amplifiers in the deaf girl's.
They made one, and for that through the movie, and she had it in most of the time.
Well, it said that she says it never works, yada, yada, yada. So he's been trying
he didn't make it in previously,
for however long. They've been putting amplifiers in, what the fuck is it called? Hearing aid. Amplifiers in it to try to make her hear, try to, like, help, right? Mm-hmm. And when what does she do? What is it called?
She turned it on.
Is it just turning it on?
Yeah.
I thought it was just emitting something, but I guess the frequency of it being turned on, it's like a dog whistle. It pisses those things off.
She turned it on and it picked up on the ambient like frequency and sort of just was really loud for them.
Yeah, and her, because it fucked her.
Well, it did work when they got close, yeah.
Well, what ended up happening was she saw that it was fucking with them, so she turned on the microphone that her dad has, put it on there, which amplified it enough to really fuck with the thing, and ripped all of its body armor off enough to where the mom blew its head off with a shotgun, right?
Yeah.
Question. You're telling me that society was standing enough to where there was at least a couple months where newspapers were reporting on the news and you had like an act of whatever going, you know, society was still there for a couple months after these things started taking people out, right?
At least some period of time.
You're telling me there was not a single scientist that was like, okay, they're attracted to noise and they get pissed off by it. Is their hearing ultra sensitive? Can we get those weapons we use to disperse crowds, those massive sonic wave guns, and just blast them with? You're telling me there was nobody that thought that? I don't know.
No, yeah. I think day zero or what was it, day one might need to be watched.
Yeah. Because maybe those scientists were like, it's sensitive hearing. You know, alternative motives and all that.
Possibly. Maybe they could have had the mist person.
But that shotgun blast they see has attracted an entire horde of these things. And the final shot is the daughter holding the microphone with the amplified hearing aid. And the mother cocks the shotgun. Cut to black. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I like that ending. I
called it quirky.
The ending, I get like, oh, we're gonna take back the whatever. I get it, but like, I don't know, man. I wasn't real
you're two people and you have a limited supply of bullets. I don't know what you think you can really do.
Yeah.
When you're getting surrounded by a bunch of aliens that take a bit to take down.
Yeah. And it's not that I don't like ambiguous endings. See the two other movies that we're about to go through, but it's just like I can't say I know how I would end this movie because I don't. I would have to really sit down and watch this movie a couple times to really be like, okay, this is how I would end it. Mm-hmm. But I don't love the movie that much to do it. B, it's just like, I don't know, because now you're turning into an action movie. And like you said, how many shells do you really got in that bitch? Because there looked about 5 that were coming straight for you. And now you're going to have to take out those 5 with shotgun shells that are going to echo through the forest around you. I don't know. Again, I don't remember if the second movie picks up as soon, like right after. I don't remember. I remember somewhat of the opening of it, but I don't remember if it does that. But I don't know. The ending, every time I watch this movie, the ending takes away from it, and it hasn't gotten any better.
Yeah, I can see the ending taking away from it, because it did.
Yeah.
I was never a big fan of that.
Overall, I think this movie does tension extremely well. As me and you talked about, it had entire audiences quiet, afraid to make a noise. And
the setup for some things that would happen later in the movie was kind of dumb, in my opinion. Like the nail on the stairs.
Is that a red herring? Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
Well, I think actually the red herring is when you focus on something and it ends up not being important. I learned it through watching Jaws. What that?
Oh no, it wasn't a red herring.
No,
I know something that was important. Yeah,
yeah, but
it's just the way she. I mean, like if you, the scene I'm really talking about here is the nail on the stairs when she's taking up the laundry and it gets caught. Right? Why was your first instinct to just keep pulling and not, unhook it?
I mean, you don't know what it's caught on, Plus, she's pregnant and pissed off and stressed. And are you really going to criticize a pregnant woman's actions? Is that
I'm
going
to criticize you actually putting into a lot of fucking work into pulling
so
up
this
something
pregnant
that's
woman needs to put in more work. Is that what he is stating?
When you could have just, unhooked it and kept going.
I love when we have these and you just kind of ignore what I'm trying to accuse you of.
Yeah, because it's not going to work. You're not going to drag me into that bullshit.
And just like, he'll stop. he'll stop.
Yeah.
But overall, I really, really enjoy this movie. I give it like an 8.7. I think it does tension very well. The acting is tremendous. Probably the best acting out of any movie in this lineup, in my opinion. I think the premise is very fun. I do know that I would die very, very poorly and badly in this. I'm gassy, dude. I eat the wrong thing. I'm gassy.
When I sleep, I'm not safe.
You tell me, like, you got to sleep without the CPAP machine. It's over. Sleep apnea is going to get me if it's not these.
I hope I don't snore with that on.
But that does, or I gave it 8.7. What do you give it?
7.
Okay. And lastly, what I wanted to do with each of these movies, it's going to be a longer episode. We'll try to keep it quick. Mm-hmm. What would you rate the survivability of you in this scenario? Like 10, you're tanking it. 1, you're dying day 1.
About a 3.
Same. It's a wrap for me. And I know my big ass would forget about it. I told my wife this. She'd probably we're waking up and I see her put on a dress or something. I'm like, ooh, baby. And she goes, dead. It's over.
Last words being words of appreciation, the way you want it to go out. I hear you.
And I'll make it real dramatic too. I'll hear the thing coming in, just go. Just get taken.
And just go worth it.
Worth it. Now, moving on to The Thing. 1982. Bit of an oldie. 43 years old.
Oh yeah.
On Rotten Tomatoes, 85% critic rating with a 92% audience score. Did not make money. $15 million budget and grossed $19.6 million.
Ooh.
It's a remake on the 1951 movie The Thing from Outer Space, I believe, was the original.
Sounds about right.
Directed by John Carpenter, who directed Halloween, the original Halloween, a couple other horror movies. And this movie has become what is one of the most popular cult classics because it was hated when it came out. It was hated. Like, people did not like this movie. It was banned in Finland. Finland said, we're not showing this movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even some of the actors were like, yeah, this is bad. And John Carpenter apparently got really hurt by this, especially when apparently the original director, The Thing from Another World, the director of it said, if you want blood, go to a slaughterhouse. All in all, it's a terrific commercial for JB Scotch. Yikes. Which was the scotch Kurt Russell's character McCready was drinking. Yikes. Yeah. John Carpenter hated that. But I have a couple quotes from people reviewing this movie, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Vince Canby called it too phony looking to be disgusting. It qualifies only as instant junk. Ooh. Dave Kerr wrote that it was hard to tell who's being attacked and hard to care. Robert Egbert was disappointed by the superficial characterizations and the implausible behavior and dismissed the film as nothing more than an Alien ripoff. Damn! And audiences hate it for being too gory. Audience hated it for being too violent. And people said it looked too phony, but now it is praised for the special effects. And honestly, if you're watching it in 2025 and you're like, man, these effects suck, it's from 43 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the artwork of everything being practical for the most part, it's fucking insane what they did. With puppeteering, with the sheer artistry of it. And of course, we'll get into it. But before we go into that, what were your overall thoughts on the movie?
My overall thoughts on the movie, I was lost for the first 45 minutes. I got to be real.
Okay.
I didn't know what was going on. I was like, how are they here? What's happening? What is this? Okay. You?
Yeah.
And also, why?
I got a text, by the way, and I guessed which part you were at, and I'll try to guess which part you were at entirely. Okay. But you texted me, I should not be fucking eating during this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's disgusting at a lot of the parts, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was bad. And then there was just dumb decisions made, at certain points, and I'm just like, that's, movie timing, but, why?
We'll get into the biggest dumb decision. There's a couple that I really picked up on because this is my third or fourth watch of it. Mm-hmm. Picked up on where I was like, really? Really?
Yeah.
But some other facts about it that I found interesting that I want to give before we get into it. Keith David, the guy who played Childs. Do you remember Childs?
I didn't know any of their names.
Okay, so...
I barely learned McCready's name at the end of it.
Okay, McCready was Kurt Russell's guy.
Yeah.
Nails was the cook. You had Windows, who was the guy on the radio at first, where he's like, I can't get anybody for weeks. And that was Windows.
Mm-hmm.
Blair was the guy who went insane in that thing, and they left in the tool shed. Yeah. Okay. Doc was the guy who, spoilers, had his hands chewed off by that guy's stomach.
Mm-hmm.
The skates guy was Palmer. Larry was the guy who they accused of getting into the blood. Childs was the black guy, the other black guy.
Yeah,
outside outside of Nails. He was the black guy at the end who's sitting across from McCready.
Yeah.
And is that it? You got Clark, who was the guy with the dogs, who McCready shot in the head.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's all of them. It's a lot, and yeah, I didn't know all their names before. I paid attention this time to try to really pick up on their names. But Childs is the first major role for Keith David. Do you recognize that name?
No.
Keith David, you would know his voice. He, you ever seen Princess and the Frog?
Yes.
He voiced the voodoo guy.
Really?
Yeah, and that's basically his lane, is voice acting for the most part. He has some roles where it's live action, but usually when I'm watching a movie or a TV show or whatever, I think he's in a couple of games too. It's usually voice acting.
Okay.
And seeing a young version of him, I'm like, God damn.
That's wild.
The special effects, all the mass amounts of meat and the monsters and whatever, that was done by Rob Bottin. I want you to guess how old he was.
25.
Younger.
19.
Older.
22.
Boom! 22 years old when he made all of this. I'm 24, dog. Like, what am I doing?
I'm 20. I'm 25.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Yeah.
The dog was praised for its acting performance. First of all, what's your reaction to that?
Which dog?
The dog at the beginning.
Uh,
That runs into camp and then it's just going across the thing before it transforms into the thing. Starts fucking with those other dogs.
I think I actually have a literal note for this. One of these dogs is not like the others.
That's fair.
As I noticed, like right off
That's
the
fair.
bat.
Apparently,
what's going on?
The guy who approaches the camp with the gun and is screaming in Swedish, he is saying, "That's not a dog. That's not a dog. It's a weird thing. Fuck that dog," and try to kill the dog. Ends up killing the first guy who got killed. I forgot about him because he was the first guy who got killed.
Okay, so I had no clue what was going on right there. I just saw dude toss a grenade backwards, and then why did dude run and try and dig it up?
Well, that was an accident. He meant to throw the grenade at the Americans apparently to kill the dog. We'll get through because I know why everybody was there and everything. We'll pick through the plot. But that was everybody loved how that dog acted because apparently the dog was tremendous, like tremendous. Those shots of him only took like 4 or 5 takes. Like, and when you watch it, you're like, I get it. Like, I would never watch a movie and be like, man, that dog, damn.
I didn't pay attention to that dog much, really.
But when you point out that dog and when it's walking down the hall, you're like, something's up with that dog, which is great acting by the dog. It's great dog acting.
Yeah.
But, okay, so the setup of the thing, if y'all have never seen it, in Antarctica, however you want to say it, there are research posts by every major country down there. And in this movie, you find out later that a ship has crashed into the ice. And the Swedish, being the white people they are, found the ship and decided to get into it. Found a container and pulled it back to their research center and started fucking with it. What are we doing? And I know it's kind of laughed at because when they eventually, fast forwarding a little bit, they pull this massive meat that they were working on. They pull it into this room to lock it in there. And the guy's like, why aren't we just burning this? Like, we're burning everything else. And the guy was like, oh, you can't burn the discovery of the century. Yes, you can. Go to the spaceship. It's right there. Why are we keeping this thing around?
Take a picture, burn it. You're good.
But the movie starts off with this helicopter chasing a dog. You're like, what the hell is going on?
Oh, so that's what was happening.
Yeah, the helicopter was chasing the dog, popping shots at it. And I wouldn't make fun of the guy shooting, but it's just a normal researcher shooting out of a helicopter. So, you can't really expect much. And trying to hit a husky, or it's not a husky, but you get it.
German Shepherd.
It wasn't a German Shepherd. It was like a wolf hybrid thing. Whatever. I read what dog it is. I don't care. They were shooting at a dog. The dog takes solace at the American base. Helicopter crashes. And then dude tries to throw a grenade at the Americans with the dog next to him, but throws it behind him and blows up his only way out of here. Takes a shot at the dog, who is on a person, and ends up grazing. I think his name was Blaine or
something. Shot the dude straight in the leg.
Yeah, shot him in the leg before he gets shot by Larry, who smashes a window for some reason. Just smashes a window, points his gun.
He had the sickest gun out of it.
Yeah, he had to. But but they take the dog in, and they're trying to figure out why this guy was insane, shooting at a dog and then shooting at them and then tried to throw a grenade at them. The hell's going on here?
Yeah.
And this dog is just left wandering the station while you see people like cooking, see other people doing paperwork. You see one guy trying to get radio connection out to report this. The Swedish are going insane. Erky, Berkey, Bert, shoot the fucking dog. However they talk,
Yeah.
But a couple of them go out to the Swedish base and they explore, try to figure out what happened. And they find just this burnt out place that's been set on fire. They find a body where the blood is frozen, which is pretty sick. That was I know, like, I say I'm not into body horror, but the art, quote unquote, of it, how they were able to mimic like frozen blood and the guy's like throat cut with his head all the way back. Yeah. It's just like that. I looked at that. I was like, that's pretty sick.
I was like, that's fucking deep for him to have done it himself if he did.
Yeah, that he didn't. I think we can safely assume this wasn't a suicide.
Well, he had a razor in his hand, and some of the blood
he?
Was dripping down his arm. So I figured that's what he did, and then something just came after the fact and did that.
Yeah. But they're going around. They find this little thing that was contained. They also find some tapes and some pictures of what the Swedish did, because morons, and they're all standing there smiling by it. They're all like by this capsule with this fucking thing in it going, look at what we found. But they walk outside and they find this mass just coagulation, if you want to say, of meat. And they're like, what the fuck? And they bring it with them. They bring it back to the fucking base. And they're like, is that human? What is that? If you don't know what it is, why are you bringing it back? Like, they were already fucked because the dog was back in the base. So that action didn't fuck them. But it, like, what?
Not even just bringing it back. It's what after bringing it back. It's just like...
They said, let's bring it back and let's start fucking with it. Let's start cutting into this thing. Why? Why are we doing that? I mean, it ended up being useful because they learned that it mimics stuff and they learned some of what's going on. So yes, it was useful, but I'm saying live and let live, dog. Why?
That was the start of me realizing nah.
But that's the portion where I thought you texted me I shouldn't be eating, was him dissecting this thing.
That is the section. That is absolutely the section.
Because the first you see him cut open the skin and peel it open and then pull out an organ. And that's in my mind. I was like,
I had food sitting in front of me. I was taking a bite and I said, what the fuck am I watching? And I turned off the movie. It took me 3 days to watch it because every time I tried to watch it, it was after work. But after work, I was fucking eating. I was like, I'm not doing that.
But while he's doing this, the dog gets put in with the rest of the dogs, and the dogs know what's up. The rest of the dogs are like, what the fuck is that? Get me out of here. Because that thing starts transforming into, I wouldn't say its natural state, because you don't really know what its natural state is. But it starts fucking with the rest of the dogs, tries to escape before Childs comes in with a flamethrower and just, because fire is
I
what
think
really
part of
gets
it did escape at the very beginning there.
Yeah. Also, it has Wolverine regeneration, dude. It's just a drop of blood from this thing.
I think they pretty much gave it the venom before Venom was really in movies.
Yeah. But they light this thing up, and then Blair is the one that's doing the autopsy. He tells them, like, yeah, it's trying to imitate everybody. And he give it long time, can't distinguish it from what it's trying to intimidate, as we just saw with the fucking dog. Right?
Yeah.
So instead of taking this mass out and burning it like they did the living one, they just put it in a storage room. Cool. Awesome. Yeah. Where it gets its first victim, which is pretty nasty when the dude walks in and sees what is happening. Windows, by the way, another bitch pussy. Always running, grabbed the shotgun and was about to unload it, but put it down. And then when the blood test happened, they said, yo, my flamethrower's not working. Get it. And he's just...
Dude, that happened like 3 times. Like the dog in the cage, for one. Before they took the flamethrower to it, dude was just sitting there staring at it.
Yeah.
Like, y'all had already decided that you were going to burn it. You walked in there with the intention of just going and burning it. And you stood there for a hot minute for it to, get ready to try and gum at you before you actually started burning it. What took you so long?
Yeah, I guess like
Windows, like you said, that other flamethrower, like mine's not working. You come burn it. Okay, we're gonna go burn it. What are you doing? Why are you still staring?
And then it drops from the ceiling and eats his fucking face.
Yeah. What are you fucking doing? Why?
But they burn it and they figure out what it is and what it's trying to do. But the mistrust in everybody is already rampant. And then Blair goes insane. He does a little simulation where he's like, hey, what if this thing gets into population? And the machine was like, yeah, it's probably in the world. It'd probably take over the world within a couple days. Yeah. And Blair was like, all right, fuck it. Which, by the way, he was probably already something else. But we'll get to that. He starts destroying this room and they lock his ass in the tool shed. Problem. So, this thing, perfect imitating, and it's already been discussed that you can't be alone with it. It wants to get you alone so it can do its thing, right? Mm-hmm. So, hey, let's lock someone in the tool shed all by themselves for the rest of the time. What?
Not just that. It's when they were going to go search for it, when they saw like shit was going wrong, and they were like, somebody's got to be, one of it, but we were hearing shit. We got to go look around the base. They just decided to go in pairs.
Yeah, and not whole groups. And even at the end, when they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go give Blair the test. You stay here, Childs, the only one, and us 3 are gonna." Why are you not going in 4s? What are we talking about? What, to protect the base? From what?
From what?
What's that thing gonna do in the base?
What could the thing want with the base?
Anyways, getting ahead of ourselves. So they do this, yada, yada, yada. And then I think it's Doc that comes up with the blood test to see, basically mix it with regular blood. Mix blood with regular blood, because obviously it won't mix properly if, you're a thing. Mm-hmm. Well, they find all the blood's drained. So whole thing happens where a couple more people die from it. They find out a couple more people are the thing, imitations or whatever. before they're finally able to do the blood test, and that's probably the most famous scene from this movie.
I thought it was stupid. I thought it was so stupid.
The science of it, or what?
No, the fact that he decided to hold the blood while he was doing it.
Oh, yeah. Because that ended up getting away and infecting more people.
Yeah.
But basically, the blood test, MacReady decided or found out, because one of them was infected before, and the body was transforming, but it was also trying to escape by decapitating the corpse or the thing that it was. And that head, once it was decapitated, grew legs and tried to escape. So MacReady was like, oh, so this thing isn't just like one solid organism. It's like a group or whatever. So he takes like a coil, cuts off the protection of it to expose the wire, and he heats it up and he decides to push it against everybody's blood, because his theory was that if your blood is contaminated, it's going to try to survive, so it'll attack whatever, right? And he does it to everybody, and turns out Palmer is the thing, and as he's trying to burn it, his flamethrower just stops working. I guess runs out of gas, I believe. Runs out of juice. I
don't know. I have no clue.
It runs out of juice, but luckily, Windows has another flamethrower, and he's standing right next to it. So he's like, Windows, burn it! And the thing jumps up to the ceiling, and Windows is just like, as we said before,
just fucking standing there, letting him do his thing, I guess.
And Windows gets taken and thrown around like a ragdoll inside this thing's mouth. And you're like, damn, I liked you, Windows, until now. Until you decided to freeze up like that.
Yeah, you just let it kill you. It had a whole like minute. Like it was too long time for you to not do anything.
Yeah. But they burn the guy who turned Palmer. They burn him outside, and then they burn Windows. Mm-hmm. And now it's just left to MacReady, Larry, Nails, and Childs, and then Palmer, Blair, who's out in the tool shed.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, they're like, well, we need to go get Blair. We need to test his ass. And this is really one of the big dumb fucking things, because they go up to the tool shed and the door's open. And they're just like, oh, the door's it was latched from the outside. The door is open? First. Second, they find out Blair's not in the tool shed. He's just gone.
Yeah.
They find a secret tunnel that leads to a secret lair where this thing is building a spaceship. And they're like, man, Blair's been busy. How do y'all not? First of all, in the ending, they just forget Blair exists because they're not even trying to find him. They're not telling each other, hey, look out for Blair, right? Mm-hmm. They're just like, what's Blair doing? This normal human, first of all, you don't question why the door is open, first of all. Second of all, you tell me this normal human, I guess, kicked down this door, burrowed a 10-foot hole in the snow, burrowed at this layer, and put together something that looked like the spaceship that you saw, and you aren't like, oh, Blair's one of them. A, B, as I said, this is right into the finale. Nobody is going, look out for Blair. Blair is one of them. He's here somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, a bunch of dumb decisions, like I fucking said.
So, Blair, in his rage, took out the helicopter and tractor, the only two ways out of here. So they decide, fuck it. If we can't leave, neither is this thing. So they're going to blow up this entire base. They're going to rig it to explode and whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got something to say about that?
I liked one line during that scene. But I do want to go back a little bit to the hands getting ripped off, by the chest of the dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's some of the worst CPR I've ever seen. That's it. That was it. I'm just like, dude, are you trying to save him?
Didn't even do it to the Bee Gees.
No, I was just like, ha, 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 staying alive. And he just wasn't doing it.
That was a nice little fake out, though. He went again for the electroshock, and the stomach just opened up. Ripped that motherfucker's hands off.
Just opened up. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest. I was like, damn, what a shit way to die. And yeah.
All right, but they get down and they're still telling Childs, like, stay in the base for some reason. Or they haven't told him. They see him kind of run off, and I guess they're like, whatever, Childs being Childs.
Yeah, they did watch that happen and didn't say anything about it.
But they throw a stick of dynamite down the hole to blow up the spaceship in the lair. And then they go to the generator room after throwing Molotov cocktails all across the base because they're like, fuck, this thing is gone. They go to the generator room and they're like, okay, let's split up. Let's split up and set the explosives. And wasn't there someone named Blair? Was that a thing? Anybody suspicious?
Yeah, no.
Just set your explosives. That. I don't know who that is. And as they're doing that, Blair comes up to Larry from behind and shoves his hand in his mouth.
Yeah, the hands
I hated
in the face. Oh god,
I hated that. I hated that. That was nasty. His fingers. You saw the fingers in the cheeks.
The outlines.
Shit.
Yeah.
But so Larry's gone, and then he set his charges. And you think Nails is going to go, but Nails doesn't go. He's able to set his charges. And then he just kind of wanders off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like he's just chilling.
So they hook up to the whoosh, the typical
He literally sets
explosive.
it and just walks away.
Yeah, he sets it. And then he just wanders off by himself. And I was like, did he hear something? But he didn't make a face like he heard something. And I'm like, okay, maybe he sees something. And I'm like looking over his shoulder and shit. I'm like, I don't see anything. What are you doing?
The weird thing was McReady was talking to him and he didn't fucking respond. Like, he was like, hey, come here, or something like that. And he's like, hey. And he looks over and the dude's just fucking gone. Or he sets the charge and walks away.
And he wasn't one of the thing. He wasn't a thing.
No.
His blood was clean. And since that time, he was with the group the entire time. And we watched him set the charges. So, so he just goes and dies off camera. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's just literal and inconsequential death. Like, there was no reason for him to walk away, and they didn't even, make note of his death. They were just like, oh, he's there, and then he's gone.
And then he's gone. Dude, shadow in the wind, dog. That's it, like a shadow in the night. But McCready stands up, and the thing is kind of barreling through, knocks him over, swallows the explosives, because it's on to what they're trying to do. No, it swallows I guess,
something exploded down there, yeah.
No, because McCready threw a stick of dynamite.
That was at the very end. No, that exploded beforehand. Like, it swallowed the charge, and then boom.
No, it swallowed it, and then McCready was at the stairs, and he lit the thing and said, yeah, fuck you too. And
that was the one line that I was actually mentioned earlier.
But, yeah, he said, fuck you too, threw it, thing blows up, and then they go, or McCready goes topside, and kind of just sits down with Childs walking over. And he's like, were you the only one that made it? And he was like, I guess. I guess so. Where were you? And he was like, I thought I saw Blair, so I ran after him. And you could tell McCready was like, was it? Because he didn't look that cold. Where was he? Where were you, dog? You saw McCready was like covered in frost. Like, it was up for him.
It's negative 40.
And you tell me this guy was just roaming around,
Yeah.
But the ending of this movie is just the base up in flames, and they look at each other, and they basically decide, like, we're just going to sit here and freeze to death, because that's it,
Mm-hmm.
And ambiguous as that is, I think it's a fine ending. I think it's an okay ending.
That's not bad.
In my opinion.
I mean, what could you do? I mean, besides the obvious holes there, like with Blair being gone, and then, of course, Child showing up mysteriously. But, I mean, if they're just going to freeze to death, I mean...
Yeah.
There's not really much of a chance of the thing coming back.
Yeah, and I think, like, there is no win because it can regenerate from anything. If it even touched the helicopter that rescued him, it's up for society.
Fire.
It's up for society. It's even with fire, it has to be a long enough fire, because you saw even in the burned remains said that there were still living cells, you know.
Oh, I didn't realize that part.
Yeah, that's why that thing, because what they brought in first was burnt, like it had already been set on fire. And
was it?
Yeah, because it was from the Swedish base. And it was in that pile of like smoking. You saw the cans of gasoline.
Oh, yeah. And it was fucking smoking all the way back to their base, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
But they're still living. It's basically saying this thing's immortal. And there's no beating it. Which brings me to my question. What 1 to 10 survivability on this?
In that base?
If you were one of the base members, do you think you're surviving? One of the researchers.
Yeah. I'm not telling them to fucking go check it out. Like, for one, well, shit, the dog was already there.
Would you, if as soon as they brought that smoldering conglomeration of meat, would you just say, like, you know what? I'm going to learn how to fly a helicopter on the way. Like, I'm gone.
That would have been, yeah, that would have been it. That would have been it for me. Like, the moment I saw a mass of meat like that resembled, I think it was like resembled, like parts of it were human-like, and then other parts were just kind of like merged and shit. Yeah. The moment I saw that, I would have said, what the fuck did that? Oh, you don't know? Cool. I'll see y'all back in, like, elsewhere.
Yeah, hope I see you at the States.
Yeah,
hope I see you
I'm
back.
going home. I quit. No.
If they're like, oh, we're going to start cutting into it, you're going to what? You're
gonna do what?
No. And of course, you had no way of knowing about the dog, right?
Yeah, I would have had no way of knowing about the dog. The dog would have gotten me, actually, because I mean, I like animals, so like I would have been with that dog, so the dog probably would have gotten me.
Yeah, you'd be like, "Oh, he's so good," and then its head splits open. You're like, "What the fuck?" And then
I would have been. Yeah, it would have got me.
So you would have said if you got to the dog first, it's probably like a 1.
If I got to the dog first, 1 or 2. If I had seen the fucking mass of meat first, that's
10. Well, gone. Like a 9 because I don't know how to fly a helicopter.
Yeah, I don't know how to fly a helicopter, but I'd imagine it won't be too hard. You know,
everybody looks around and it's like, where'd Z go? And they just hear do.
And I'm not saying this to diminish any other fucking helicopter pilot. I'm just going to fucking learn on the way.
I'm just going to learn. And
if I crash, I crash. It's over. But,
if I crash, I crash. At least I'm not looking dead eyes into something that's head is split into 2 and is forming into another being.
And it's just fucking at me. I'm good on that.
Yeah. As I imagine you like crash helicopter and you're floating in the ocean and you just hear the explosion of the base and you're like, yeah, this is better.
Yeah. Look, if I'm cold enough to lose all feeling, I mean, what can you do? It would have been better.
But overall, what'd you think of this movie?
I rated it a 4.
Really?
But honestly, I'm gonna bump it up to like a 6.
I'm at a 7, and a lot of the drawbacks are like, what are we doing? What decisions are we making?
It was rated a 4 because of the fucking decision making and just like general, like, what the fuck are you even? Why would you do that? Like, is this what we're doing?
Also, in your first watch, when you don't really know what's going on, I think the tension is much more effective. Like, it really of like the distrust on who is it and who isn't it,
First watch, I mean, this was my first watch, but like, I didn't really get any of that because I didn't know what was happening. That was my whole issue. It's just I couldn't tell what was happening for a good minute.
Okay. Well, about in second watch, when I'm like in the blood test, I was like, I know who turns into it, and I know who immediately dies. So the kind of tension wasn't really there, and that could just be me watching it with like critical brain or whatever. I don't know. I
did feel like tension during that blood test, though. I will say that. Like, it was like, oh, who is it going to be? Like, I have no clue, to be honest.
Yeah. But a lot of the points go to practical effects. I loved, and I know what it looks like, And I know I've seen movies in it that are just bad with that stuff, but I think it was done really, really well. And I think a lot of it, especially when, like, we say it's a mass amount of meat, but the whole, like, head splitting and how it was formed and everything, it looks sick. Like, it looks pretty
It was
cool.
it was hard to watch because it was good. I won't like say it was just bad. It was just hard to watch for me.
But I'm with you. I think it's at I'm way above you. I think it's at a 7.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to the last one.
Last but not least, The Mist.
The Mist, 2007. 74% critics, 65% audience. $18 million budget, grossed $57.47 million. Not great. It made its money back, but not tremendous. Directed by Frank Darabont, and while I was watching this, I was like, oh, that's Andrea from The Walking Dead. Oh, that's Carol from The Walking Dead. And then I look at the director, and I'm like, oh, that's the guy who directed season 1. Oh. And apparently Thomas Jane, the guy who was the lead for this, Frank Darabont wanted him to play Rick Grimes. So there was almost 3. I think it was better. I think it's great Andrew Lincoln got cast because I don't really like this guy's acting. I'm going to be honest. I wasn't a fan. Out of all 3 movies, this movie has the worst acting. The worst. Honestly, the best, and I hate it, was that bitch, that cult bitch that we'll definitely get into. I think she was the best actor in this movie, which sucks. Blows.
This movie had a great, like, the characters were so all over the place that I feel like it did a great job at making me hate everybody.
Oh, yeah. And I think that was an overall point of the movie of, like, this is what humanity is once we are put in this kind of scenario, you know?
Yeah.
But last fact I picked up that I really enjoyed was Stephen King. This was a Stephen King book, and I believe it said third Stephen King book made into a movie by Frank Darabont. He did The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption before this.
Okay.
But
realize The Green Mile was a Stephen King book.
I learned that. What I was shocked to hear is Shawshank Redemption. I didn't know that was a Stephen King book, but apparently it was.
I didn't know that one either, but The Green Mile was much more of a shocker for me.
Yeah. But Stephen King said this one actually terrified him, that it's really, really good. Apparently Frank Darabont was stoked by it. So that's great. As always, or as we've done in this episode, overall thoughts on this?
Overall thoughts. Well, I did say it earlier. I hated everybody. I could see it like, what's the fucking show? God, Euphoria. You know how Euphoria is like trust me, it's not like, you know how Euphoria is like a dramatized like version of, you know, like what society is, right?
Okay.
Like everything's much more than, you know, what we would really see.
Okay.
I feel like that was what The Mist did, you know, just in terms of a panic reaction, like how people would panic when shit goes down.
Yeah.
And a lot of the decisions that made because of how overreacting everybody was just stupid.
Okay.
Like, dude says, I heard something. And this is like skipping a little bit in the movie, of course. But dude says, I heard something. And you don't believe him. But instead of just saying, yeah, no, I don't believe you, I'm going to bring your entire career into it because I, for some reason, hate you. And it's just like, yeah, I don't care what you say because you're some rich kid from the city. I'm just like, what is that? What? Where did that come from?
Oh, are you talking about when they're trying to get... I call him Captain Holt. I didn't remember his name because he's Captain Holt in... Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The black bald
not
guy.
that guy. No, not him. No, the white dude. The beard, overalls.
Beard overalls.
I say overalls. Not overalls. The fucking, like a...
The store guy?
Nope. The country dude. The redneck dude.
Yeah, I don't remember him having a beard. I remember the bald faced guy. They were two like clean shaven guys.
Was he clean shaven?
Anyways,
Yeah, that guy.
What part are we talking about?
So the part where he's in the storage area and there's something banging at the garage door.
Yeah.
And he comes back out and he's like, I heard something. For one, he's like, he couldn't describe the garage door and just something beating on it. Like, that was a very simple thing to explain.
See, I made the joke of like going out there and going up to the store manager and going, does your garage door breathe by itself? Just asking.
I just found it so ridiculous that he couldn't describe that. But instead of just saying like, yeah, no, you're crazy, I don't believe you, dude was like, you think you can tell us what's going on when you're some rich kid from the city just because we're all freaking out over here? And I'm just like, what does that have to do with anything? Like, he just said he heard something.
It's established small town people hate big town people, and I think that's what they were trying to convey. So like,
yeah, and it was just too much.
So what he's talking about, and it's getting ahead, that basically the storm comes through and it wrecks a lot of people's shit. And then while they're looking over the damage of this storm, they see this mist on the lake. And they're like, what the hell is that? It's like, I don't know. There's a mist, I guess, on the lake. Happens every day. Him and his son, main character and his son, leave his wife at the house and go to the store with the lawyer that lives right next to him, apparently from New York, that has tried to sue him before, but they have a very on-off relationship until a dumbass decision is made. They go to the store, and while they're at the store, this fog, but they call it a mist, this fog rolls into town, and all of a sudden they're like, don't go out there, because this old man rushed into the store saying, hey, my buddy was snatched up, was sister stolen.
Can we pause right there? So I have a couple issues with the alert system of that town. Because not only was they noticed the heavy military presence, right? They were like, oh shit, it's like shit's going down. I wonder what it is. That's fine. You can be curious and not really worry about it.
That's important. It's some experiment they're doing up in the mountains above the town. That's why they're seeing all this military and they're like, oh, this project that they're working on.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that they're like not too worried about it because, I mean, generally, I don't think I would be if I lived in a town that had seen military like that as often. But, the uptick would definitely like spark some curiosity.
Well, yeah, if I live right next to the National Guard base and I see Humvees and shit up and down these streets all the time. But you're right. Yeah. If I started seeing them paired with fire trucks and police officers and then stashed with military soldiers, I'd be like, I know it's the National Guard, but like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, like you would be a little concerned about that, sure. But they had ample time to tell everybody in that town and the surrounding area to like get away, and they chose to say nothing.
Well, I mean, they were trying to keep it a secret because they were not supposed to.
Sure, but if you're trying to keep it a secret, don't tell the people shit. Just say, get out, military orders, you have to go. If you don't go, you're getting arrested and you're getting moved. Yeah. I mean, you could do that.
I mean, we also saw, though, this is a town of like my rights,
Sure, start shooting people. I don't care. Use force.
Put them down. You could
get people away.
Put them down.
You could get them away.
I mean, they should have put some people down in this movie. Let's be honest.
True, but instead you chose to wait until the mist is like already halfway through town to set up an alarm, and then everybody that's already there, for some reason they were shopping a lot more. That was just kind of just happening, I guess.
The storm.
Really busy in town. The storm. And then you all see this dude running, who by all means, I mean, he's bloody, but he's not making a damn sound. I'm just like,
oh yeah, no, I forgot about that. He runs, he like jogs all the way across the store, gets let into the store, and then is like, my buddy was just taken into the sky. Oh my God. And it's like,
you had 200 meters to scream all your life away, but you wait to get into the store to start yelling it at people's faces. Like, I understand. Like, you would want to be loud to warn people, sure. But the way you did that was just awkward and not really how a person would react.
Yeah. But
so that's
they're
the
all
issue
like,
I had.
they call bullshit. Some of them are freaked out, but I believe one of them says like, fuck this, and goes out there.
Yeah, the dude with the little cut off jean jacket. And he was like, yeah, fuck this shit. And he runs to his car. And then you hear him go, ah!
And then you hear him, oh my God. So then nobody wants to go out there. And it begins to be just this siege. Not this siege, but like just locking down in this in this place. And I believe, what is he going to fetch? Is he going to fetch a blanket for his kid or something?
Who?
When he's back there and he finds the garage. What is he back there doing?
Oh, I think they were doing something with the generator.
Okay, well, he was going back there for the generator. And on the garage, as I said, it starts breathing. It just starts going in.
It just fucking swells in.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, And then
and
it just like
loud noise.
Shakes and shit.
So he runs out there and he's like, guys,
he had the most trouble explaining fucking, I heard the garage and saw the garage door rattling around like something was beating at it. He had the most trouble saying that.
Yeah, but two rednecks, I believe Toby Jones, who I kept calling Dobby, which one of my favorite characters because of an action he takes, dies in the dumbest way possible. Spoilers, but I say Dobby because he played Dobby in Harry Potter. So Dobby joins him, two rednecks, and a teenage cashier to the back to check it out. What they find out is the generator's not working because something is blocking it. So the teenager is like, I'll go out and clear it. The guy's like, no, you're not going out there. But the rednecks, I think, had that speech you say of like, oh, what? Are you trying to scare us, city boy? Or I have to do the Gravity Falls, city boy, city boy.
It was overly aggressive for no reason.
Yeah, but they're making fun of him, and the kid is really pushing for it because it's a teenage kid trying to prove himself to the adults.
And he's like, yeah, you're a bitch, man.
Yeah, so they open the thing, and he looks under there and doesn't immediately like try to duck and go out to, whatever. He looks under, stands up, smiles.
Like, there's nothing under there.
There's nothing there, old man. And then a tentacle grabs his ass and starts trying to yank him. And they all stand there like, okay, now get him. What the huh?
Now, for first guy, I could understand the shock of like seeing the tentacle, like, what the fuck is that? And then it grabs the boy. You may get help out of me, you may not. It depends on how far away I am. If I'm like close, I may grab you and dip. If I'm far away, I'm just out of there. I'm sorry, but I'm out. But they stood there for a minute, and like one dude was like, help him. And nobody did anything. And like he starts grabbing, he's like, what are y'all waiting on? So nobody still moves.
Main character, we'll call him Rick Grimes. Rick runs up there, tries to pull the kid out of the grasp of this tentacle. Dobby tries to do the same. While the rednecks are like, what tarnation? What the hell? Son of a bitch! I don't know. Like, whatever rednecks say in these times, right? And this thing starts pulling out teeth and taking chunks out of the kid. And you're like, holy shit! Oh my God!
Dude, that kid's a fucking fighter. I'll give him that.
So Dobby says there's an axe here. So he breaks the glass to get the axe while this kid is just getting more and more tangled up in this tentacle. And he goes to the main one holding him and legitimately, like 10 seconds for one swing.
Instead of trying to like aim for, below the kid's leg, where, the tentacle is still fucking there, he tries to aim at the kid's leg.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, why are you trying to cut so close? I guess he was going to
amputate it.
Yeah, I was like, why are you trying to cut so close? And then the kid gets yanked, and I was like, oh, he's going to kill that kid. And I was like, oh, he didn't.
But I think, honestly, what happened is Toby Jones knew he had to do this, but he didn't want to hit the kid with the axe. Obviously, it wasn't a real axe. Still would have fucking hurt. So it looked like he was trying to swing it, but also protect the kid from, just getting whacked with it.
Yeah.
But he misses because the kid gets sucked out from underneath the thing. Mm-hmm. So he gets sucked out, it starts retracting, and the guy is able to cut one piece off before the garage closes. And my God, the first satisfaction moment happened because as soon as that redneck was like, I'm sorry, out loud, I was like, shut up, shut the fuck up. And the Rick has the greatest line because the guy's like, well, we weren't holding a gun to his head. And he was like, he's a kid, he's supposed to be stupid. What's your excuse?
Yeah. I think, okay, I have my notes here for that because for one, I wrote so much shit down for this movie. Yeah, you fucking scared now, fuckers. That's one thing I wrote because they were fucking pussies during that entire thing. Yeah. And I said actually good reaction because the dude like punched him, started like beating his shit for a second, was like, "You see what fucking happened? I tried to fucking tell you, and you wouldn't fucking listen, and then you got that fucking kid killed." And it was like, I was like, yeah, it's a fucking good reaction. Like,
and I know
that's understandable.
I know it's an apocalypse right now, but honestly, I'd take the axe and just put it in that guy's head. He's going to be a detriment. And it turned out he was. It turned out he was a detriment.
Yeah, because 20 minutes later, that entire... dude, that pissed me off.
But they go back and they're trying to tell the whole store, like, hey, you can't go outside. You can't. Just... And what they got out was this tentacle thing came in and yada, yada, yada. And they got laughed at. They got screamed at. They tried to tell Captain Holt, and Captain Holt was like, oh, you're trying to get back to me for this lawsuit. I don't know why... I don't know why you would think that. Like,
dude, for real, I was thinking about that. I was just like, okay, he was so aggressive for no reason. Like, y'all were chill all fucking day. Y'all were actually like I actually did like him as a character. I was like, oh, my dude's actually pretty fucking chill. And he's like, you're just trying to get back at me for this lawsuit, dude. What are you talking about? He won the lawsuit. If you wanted to gloat, it would just be, I won the lawsuit.
Yeah, and then Rick was like, no, come here, let me show you. Puts his hand on his shoulders like, you assaulted me. I'm like, all right, bro. All right, bro.
I was like, all right, come on,
this
dude.
starts the rumbling of honestly what is the most compelling part of this movie and one of the most aggravating things of this movie, and is this lady who is extremely religious.
Dude,
and
she pissed me off in the first 2 seconds I had seen her.
She has convinced herself that this is an act of God. But what
not 2 seconds.
What I picked up on is in the bathroom, and this was my second or third time watching this. I picked up on that when she is doing that prayer, when she comes to terms with like, oh, I'm a messenger or whatever, it's so self-centered. You know, it's like, I'm going to save people. I'm going to earn my way by your side. I'm going to do this. And I'm happy they did that. I'm not religious. And I'm not a Christian, y'all know this. And there's another line that's coming up that I love. But I love that they portrayed it wasn't Christianity necessarily that drove these people insane. It was this lady twisting the words to fit something that was going to serve herself. You know what I mean?
And like what pissed me off about that lady, like I said the first 2 seconds, but that's a lie. The first 2 seconds, I really wasn't paying attention to what she was saying when she was praying.
Yeah.
But after that, like, the other lady was just being nice. She was like, well, I get being scared. Because it really did seem like she was scared if you were asking me. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, I get being scared. Like, if you need somebody to talk to, like, you know, I'm right here. She's like, I don't need you, bitch. Like,
yeah, no, she said,
Christ.
If I need someone like you, I'll squat down and shit one out. The fuck?
Like, what did I do to you?
Yeah, and first satisfactory moment is when that's Andrea from The Walking Dead when she slapped the fuck out of her. She slapped the bitch out of her, dude. And I was like, yeah, amen, hallelujah.
That's what I was just like, Old Testament was such a weak excuse. Like, you could have just said, yeah, she made me pissed off. Like, nobody would have done anything.
But that happens. The tentacle happens, and this lady starts to talk about God and how it's yada, yada, yada. And I believe that was the only thing that happened before you had the people trying to leave the store, Captain Holt and his crew. And
you had that. They saw the tentacle. Some people saw the tentacle. And then they all went up front again, and they were trying to debate on what to do. And then Holt was trying to get people together to leave. Yeah. The crazy lady was like, y'all are going to, you know, incur the wrath of God, and he's going to kill all of us here. And then everybody else was just like, we got to hold up.
And see, that's where that line comes in, because the biker guy is like, oh, we could use your shotgun, and I'll go get your shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
And they tie a thing of twine around him, thing of string, to see how far he gets, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's where that line, he looks at the lady and he says, I believe in God too. I just don't think he's as lustful dick as you think he is. And I'm like, amen. Like, amen. Shut this bitch up. And then she's like, oh, you'll die prideful or whatever.
And they go out. His last words.
They go out. The shotgun is unsuccessful, but he makes it. I think they said 200 yards.
About 200 yards, yeah.
Which is important for later. 200 yards. And he gets snatched up, and they're trying to pull. They're pulling on the string, and then it's blood on the string.
So I had a couple issues with this one too. So everybody that was doubtful of shit going down, when he was, pulled on the string, sure, that's, fair enough. You could think he just got in a car and started fucking driving or whatnot. Yeah. But then the string went up into the fucking air.
Yeah. Yeah. It went into the air.
And I'm just like, okay, sure. Yeah, it goes into the air. Nobody else see that? Like, y'all, do y'all believe now?
Yeah. And then, they're still pulling on it, and it just ends up being his legs just getting dragged across the ground. Just a pair of legs.
I had a couple issues with that. For one, you start seeing blood, hands all in that blood. Hands were all in it. Like, without a care. Nasty. And then the other guy, blood on his hands.
Nasty.
It's like, what? Do you not see what's...
Nasty. I forgot to mention, there is 3 soldiers who are now in this, and important, they get told by an MP to meet him outside because vacation's getting whatever. One of them was Sam Witwer. When I saw him, I was like, is that Sam Witwer? And my lady was like...
I said, is that Edward?
You thought it was Robert Pattinson? You thought it was Bat Pat, dude? Oh my God. I mean,
I looked at him, I was like, huh?
I mean, he could probably play the parody Robert Pattinson. I mean, I don't think
he could.
But I looked it up to make sure. I was like, that's Sam Witwer. My lady was like, what? I said, he voices Darth Maul. He's Star Killer. He's a big Star Wars guy. I win. I get the point. Sucks how we died. I hated that. But,
that was stupid. That whole scene.
But that's jumping a little ahead.
Yeah.
This happens, and they're all like, fuck that. Night comes, and they have now boarded up the windows with dog food and stuff. They boarded up half of it, and they got a bunch of lamps and stuff to light the way. I believe this is the next thing they have to deal with.
Yeah, it is.
And all of a sudden, these massive wasps start
mosquito, scorpion bullshit things.
Yeah, they start attaching themselves to the windows. Immediately, I was like, turn off the light. The first thing you learn about bugs is they're attracted to the light. Turn off the light. But they don't do that. Instead, they're going up to the window going, oh.
Yeah. So I've had my notes where y'all a little too comfortable looking at those bugs, considering how they came into the lights, and people were just sitting there holding lamps and shit. But then shit started going bad, and the first words out of the main character's mouth was "douse the lights." Like, put out the fucking lights.
While the redneck is turning on the floodlights.
Rednecks going, turn on all the lights. No! Don't do that. Keep them off.
Oh my God. So these bugs are on the window and they're not doing anything. But then they start getting attacked by these pterodactyl looking things. And these things start pounding on the window. And you're like, well, those windows are going. It's too late now.
And fucking Dobby called it early. He said, this whole fucking store's fucking glass.
Yeah, dude. The windows are glass. Yeah. Apparently, by the way, Stephen King got the idea for the book because he was in a store with his mother and thought, hey, what if some big ass bugs started throwing themselves at this window?
Stephen King was a person.
That gets you a peek into that crazy little guy's mind. Yeah. R.I.P. I think he's still alive. Anyways, Hole gets busted in, and these bugs start flying in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lady gets stung, and God,
that was the quick 2-minute romance.
Yeah, her neck gets stung, and it inflates, and she like has a stroke and dies. But like her neck is inflated, her face is inflated.
Her neck is the size of her face before it was inflated.
Nasty. One lands on the lady, the cult lady.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that supposed to be there to like try to get some audience members to think if she's correct?
I thought the same thing. I was like, that's there to just make them think that she was correct.
Which makes it...
Or make us think, one or the other.
The bug lands on her stomach and she's just looking at it. And then it slowly crawls up her chest and is like threatening to sting her. And then she's just like there, hands up or whatever. And then it just flies off of her, looks at her, and then flies away. And I'm like, that's only there to as some weird... lame attempt to try to get some audience members on her side.
Yeah. I was just like, she got lucky.
But the important thing that happens is they came up with this idea to fill mop buckets with gasoline and soak a mop in it and light it on fire. And one of them was able to do it successfully. The other one lit his dumbass on fire.
My words were, y'all fucking suck in a panic.
Y'all blow.
Y'all fucking suck in a panic. Not only did it take you a whole 5 minutes to get that one lit, the moment it was lit, you tripped over the bucket and set yourself on fire. What are you doing?
Whatever. They're able to put him out. A pterodactyl comes in. They're able to shoot down the pterodactyl.
The kid's fucking stupid. The kid is stupid.
Hey, Dobby with that quick aim, though. Dobby with that quick fire.
No, the Dobby was being safe with the gun. It's why that thing stayed alive for so long. It's because every time he wanted to aim at somebody, there was people right there. And he was like, I can't, like, right there. Like, y'all gotta move. And then the kid trying to get to his dad, like, Dad was over here with the fucking stick slamming one down. Kid, what are you going to do? You were with your mom. Sit there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with Andrea, not the...
No, yeah, I mean, sure. But either way, you're with her. Sit there.
Sit there. But he gets it down, whatever. People are reeling. And next couple days, this guy who set himself on fire is begging to be killed. Because
this took place over one night, didn't it?
Well, it meant a couple hours later, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was a couple days because they said when he got back from the store, he was passed out for like half a day or something. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
I don't know. Yeah.
The guy's burnt to a crisp. It's bad. And he's dying. And he's like, please, for the love of God, just shoot me. Just take me out. Mm-hmm. And they're like, obviously, we're not going to do that. Meanwhile, this lady is slowly gaining followers of like, see, this is God's wrath. You see what they've done? Started preaching sermons. I think to this point, she's got 3 or 4 people now following her around. Being like,
she had another older lady that was with her. Was like, you don't believe?
Yeah.
And then there was the old lady, the chill old lady. I think she was the one character in the movie that I actually didn't end up hating.
Oh, my lady loved her line that's coming up. But basically they're like, well, the pharmacy is next to us. We can see if they have medicine. And of course everybody's like, no, we're not going to do that. They were like, well, he's going to die if we don't. Plus we need medicine. So, you know.
Yeah, we don't know how long we're going to be here. We're going to need some sort of medicine.
And that's where the lady is now, she's singing her praises. And the old lady grabs a can of peas. And she says, in the Bible, it's cool to stone people. I don't have any stones, but I have a can of peas. Like,
I forgot about this. I meant to make mention of it early on in the movie. After the first dude ran out, was like, fuck this, and then he died.
Yeah.
Like super early on. And then, the lady that was trying to get home to her kids, I was just like, all right, lady, like, I get it. Like, want to make sure your kids are safe.
Yeah.
But why are you trying to force people to come with you?
That's fair.
She was like, who's gonna take this lady to go see her kids? You? Or you? Yeah. Or you? How about you, the man with the kid that is actually taking care of your kid?
Yeah.
What did you expect out of that one, at the very least?
And he's like, I have my own kid to worry about. And she's like, go to hell. What?
Yeah.
But they make it into the pharmacy, and this is the worst part of this movie. Not in a movie sense, in a sense where me and you hate spiders. And dude, this entire pharmacy is covered in spider webs. Covered in spider webs. And they're like, yo, let's go ahead and get out of here as soon as possible. After they get a couple medicine things. And then they see an MP who is begging for help. Also saying, I'm sorry, it's our fault, I'm so sorry. Which you're like, interesting. But they try to get him down. And spiders start coming out of his skin.
Oh, that was Holt.
That wasn't Holt. That was the MP that was talking to the army guys.
Was it?
Yeah. Are you saying all black people look the same?
No, it looked
That's
like
crazy.
him. I promise. Because the
is
other
crazy.
MP was like back at the store with him, wasn't they? The other two?
No, he said
that ended up.
He said, meet me outside in however long, or meet me by the van in however long.
Oh.
Yeah. But they pull him down, and he rips at his shirt, and he rips it open to reveal all these like boils or whatever, and spiders just start popping out of that. And
no, they didn't. He says, I feel them inside me, and rips his shirt open. I remember that.
Yeah.
And they don't pull him down, actually. They never actually got him down. He fell down himself, and the moment he hit the ground, all those spiders started coming out of his skin.
His back exploded.
Oh, gosh.
And when I first watched this movie with my lady, I ran to the trash can because I thought I was going to vomit. I had a visceral reaction. And then all of a sudden you start seeing all these spiders start chasing after them. And I was like,
they're fucking acid webs.
Oh yeah. Why not?
And there's a little bit of body horror as well with that after the fucking spider in the skin, because the dude had webs around his leg that just kind of its way down.
Yeah.
Degloved his ass. Yeah, I'm good.
And then one of them fell over and the spider crawled all the way up his body and then just started biting into his neck. Oh my God. I hate that part. It was
so bad. Much. It was so bad.
I hate it.
Why?
I hate it. But they get back there. They get back to the store with some of the medical supplies. And that's when the redneck who sent the kid out to die, he snaps. And he's fully joined Mama Angel's cult or whatever she's calling it. Right? Next time you see him, he's at the front of the congregation just chanting hallelujah, amen. Right?
Expediation.
Expediation.
I don't know what that means.
So, main character takes some guys to the back, including the soldier, finds his other two soldier buddies hanging in the loading dock. And he basically says that the scientists up in this military base were trying to build a window to peek into other worlds. Why?
Yep.
Why were you doing that? And what they were doing is they didn't make a window. They made a door.
So the lady said, yeah.
And the door was open, and all these things just started coming through, just making their way through.
Making my way down.
And because he admitted this, and the redneck heard it, he drug him out to the mob, who, placed the blame on him. And my first watching, I was like, okay, I don't feel so bad because obviously he was a part of this. My second time watching, I was like, oh, no, he wasn't. He was just stationed there, and he heard rumors about what was going on.
Yep.
So
that was my whole issue with that entire scene, was like, dude didn't know shit. He was just like, I was put here. I'm glad I'm back in my hometown, but I was put here.
Yeah.
I didn't know. They didn't tell me shit.
But hey, it's someone to blame. To blame, So they start beating the shit out of him. And then
stabbed him a couple times.
Just stabbed him. And then it looked like the lady was having a regret of like, oh my God, what did I do?
That's what I thought was happening.
Yeah.
And then she said, fucking kill him. Feed him to the fucking monster. I was like, what?
She stood up and said, throw him to the beast, and threw him outside. And that's when the rational people still at that store were like, okay, we got to go.
Mm-hmm.
This is going very bad.
Yeah.
Like, we're fucked. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's
they
over.
wait till everybody's sleeping and they try to escape, and the lady gets in the way because, of course, it was never going to happen simply.
She was like stealing food or something. I think that's what they were.
Yeah. She tries to get in their way, gets the congregation to surround them, and then starts trying to take the main character's kid. Fucked up. And Dobby says, you know what, fuck this. Shoots her in the stomach and then pops her in the head. And I was like, amen, Dobby.
She said, we want the boy and then take the whore too. And I was just like, what?
Interesting.
For what? What reason do you want that? What you want the boy and the woman?
And the whore?
Sure. Yeah.
Why are you messing with the hose?
Yeah, she was like, kill them all.
Yeah, like, that's what if I was there, I would have just looked at her and say, you're scaring the hose. Chill.
Yeah, but Dobby was chill for that, and then did something immediately stupid afterwards.
Yeah, no, Dobby popped her in the stomach and then popped her in the head, and the whole congregation was like, shit.
Yeah, who teaches the word of God now?
What do we do? So Dobby, Rick, his son, Andrea, the old lady who threatened her with the peas, and I believe the old man that originally came running into the store. And then the store manager.
No, wasn't that old man like the lady's husband or something?
That's what I thought, but I think it was just the guy who originally came running into the store.
Oh, yeah.
But they all try to make it to the car. 2 of them die. Dobby gets there, turns around and just gets snatched up by a crab thing.
Yeah, that's the stupid thing that I was like, their whole plan was get to the door, get to the car, open the door you're at, get in. He gets to the car, opens the door, stops and was like, I got it. Like, get in the fucking car.
And then gets snatched up and exploded.
Yeah. It gets into multiple pieces. Yeah.
But
the gun drops on the hood.
Andrea, also I think there was one other guy that tried to run, but Andrea, the old woman, the son, Rick, and the old man, they all make it to the car and dip out of there. And with the revolver after a tense little reach. Yeah. Instead of getting out of the car, running up to the hood and grabbing it and getting back in, he decides to halfway lean out of the car and try to reach for the gun because it fell on the hood. Whatever.
So not only did 2 people, because there were 2 others that were with them besides Dobby, they didn't run to the car, so they died. And then when he was getting the gun, like, I get the simpler, step out, grab it, and get back in. But the moment he opened that door, again, no monsters were around them. The lady starts screaming, like, get back in the car! Like, now you're just alerting everybody that we're right here.
Yeah.
With our door open. While you can just be quiet for 30 seconds, let me grab the gun.
Yep, but he gets the gun, they get out of there. Long, dramatic slow-mo of the store.
Yeah, with tribal music, and they did a victory lap.
Yeah. Middle fingers to the store. They stopped by his house because he was like, maybe my wife's still alive. Mm-hmm. No. She got taken by the spiders, unfortunate.
Yeah, I was like, I thought they were just trying to go home. So, because this entire time, I didn't realize Andrea wasn't his wife. I thought he had just happened to meet her at the store. So I was like, park as close to the front door as possible. And then I saw the spiderweb bodies right there, and I was like, or fucking not.
Yeah, no.
Or not.
Dipping. So they just basically, we're going to go until the fuel runs out, see if we can make it.
They didn't go very far.
This ending, Frank Darabont fought hard for this ending because he envisioned it when he originally read The Mist. And this ending goes away from what the book's ending was. And first of all, the books, and Stephen King actually said it's a better ending than his. Because in the book, it leaves off with them just driving. And I believe the last lines are like, we're just going to go till the fuel runs out or something happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
This ending is one of the most heart-wrenching endings. One of the worst endings in terms of how it makes you feel in any movie I've ever seen. And it still sticks with me on, like, I knew what was going to happen, and I was still like, fuck.
That ending I thought that ending was so fucking stupid.
Well, here's what
because
happens.
at first
Here's what happens.
Go for it.
They run out of fuel, and they're looking around, and they've lost all hope, and they don't want to die to the mist because they don't see an end to it, and they've just lost hope. Turns out, they still have the revolver. There is 5 of them, only 4 bullets. So Rick is like, I'll do whatever. Zooms out, and you hear 4 shots. He kills his kid, Andrea, the old woman, and the old man. And then he's sitting there screaming because of what he did, trying to pull the trigger, praying that there's another bullet. And then opens his door and is like, fuck it, come on. Smacking on the car, screaming, whatever. And then you hear rumbling. And you're like, here it comes. Here we go. Here it is. He turns, barrel of a tank coming through the mist. Soldiers and cars and vehicles carrying people. And the mist is just passing them as all of this is happening. And you're like, fuck.
I hated the ending. I hated that because that just seemed like such a joke to me. Like, I get that you lost all fucking hope. I was making jokes out of it. I was like, oh shit, 4 bullets, 5 people, somebody's got to collat. And like he
put 2
does, and I was like,
together.
And I was like, oh shit, he fucking did it. Like he did it. I was like, holy shit. Okay, what's going to happen now? And he's like, fucking get me. I was like, fair enough. And I'm thinking, since it's Stephen King, they're just going to kill him. No, he was 30 seconds too fucking soon and killed everybody right before the fucking army was there and the mist was over.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's stupid. That's ridiculous. Now this man has to live with this fucking, he killed everybody in that fucking car.
He's killing himself. Kid. He's killing himself.
Oh yeah, he's not living past being saved.
Saturday comes around, it's over.
Yeah. I'm just like, Jesus, what?
Also, the ending is kind of, my lady hated me because when he was screaming in the car, when he was going, I was like, man, who let the donkey in? And she laughed. And then like 2 seconds later, she said, I hate you so much. Because now she could only picture a donkey in the car.
Because he screamed, which was a reaction you would think, but he's like so straight faced while he did it too.
Yeah, and then when he got outside and he dropped to his knees and the like zoom in on his face, I thought that moment was a little funny because he's going, and there's just 2 soldiers standing above him going,
and none of them looked in the car and saw 4 dead bodies with bullet holes in their heads.
Yeah. But I thought honestly the worst part of the ending is his acting, but also you see Carol, the girl who went out to go get her kids. You saw her in one of the rescue trucks, and you're like, you just did that to have that shocking thing,
I didn't even realize that she was in there. I just saw they were zooming in like kids and shit.
Yeah, she was able to get to her car and get to her kids and I guess get to safety somehow. Even though at that point, everybody who went out there was getting sucked up. I was like, that decision, along with a couple others, I was like, you just did that for like an extra shock. That makes no sense. That
makes me not like her even more.
Also,
in all honesty.
Also, those trucks originally were supposed to be filled with the people from the store just to add some sting to it.
That's what I thought was going to happen. That's what I saw like a bunch of people. And I was like, oh, it's going to be from people from the store. Then I just saw there were kids and shit. And I was like, oh, never mind.
The reason it wasn't is because most of the actors from the store, they already got told to go home. Like their shooting is over, So the guy was like, fuck. All right. I guess it's just going to be a bunch of random people. But I think the ending is really good in terms of like how it makes you feel and how like, I don't know how realistic it actually is because obviously this isn't a realistic, like this isn't actually going to happen in real life,
Yeah.
but it still sticks with me. And when I rewatch it, even knowing what's going to happen, I still feel when I watch the credits, I'm just watching with this sense of dread of like, Jesus, man, that blows.
Yeah. And that, I get it, but I hate that ending. I hate the way it played out. Like, it's just, to me, it reads like they could have sat there for a little bit and been okay.
Yeah, that's the point.
I know, and that's why I hate it. That's why I hate it, because I'm like 30 more seconds, and you'd have been like, "Oh shit, that's a tank. Oh, we're saved.
We're good."
But no, it's like, nope. I just killed everybody with me and my own kid, and I just like
arguably the only good people in this entire movie.
Andrea, yeah, the old lady, yeah,
the old man.
Guy,
screaming like, after 15 seconds of not screaming.
Of running. Yeah, that was, I mean, it was but like, yeah. The kid, I didn't like him.
Bitch pussy? Another bitch pussy?
Yeah, I mean, look, the kid was screaming for his dad. Sure, I get it. You know, kids, you know, they want their parents. You're going to want your kid if you're terrified. But your dad said, stay with her. And he runs off with the fucking stick like we gotta do something about these things in here. And the kid's just sitting there staring at the fucking pterodactyl shit while he's in front of him like, kid, fucking move.
All right, but overall, would you rate this?
2.
Okay. I got a 5. I got a 6. Mostly because of how I love when movies actually make me feel something, and it's not just like, okay, that was a movie. And I legitimately was getting upset with the way people were reacting. And like, I'm with everybody getting pissed off with how that lady was turning this into, how can I start a cult 101?
I mean, yeah, I get that. And like, it's just some of the decisions that were being made in the movie just read not much as like the character in this movie just making a bad decision. It read like, this is stupid on whoever wrote how this scene is going to work out. Like,
and then the ending, as I said, it's one of the best endings in my opinion, just because of the feeling it leaves you with, of how like that blows and why like that is really effective in filling you with dread. But the downsides of like, the acting isn't great. The CGI has aged poorly. I know it was in 2007. It was only like an $18 million budget, but it's still like...
Only in 2007 is kind of wild for $18 million, but yes.
But whatever. That's what takes it down. But on a survivability rate, you get trapped in that store, 1 to 10. Are you making it out?
Are we thinking, well, of course, I wouldn't have the knowledge that would only be for one night. So generally the moment shit starts going wrong, like a 2.
2? What do you think? What do you think gets you?
Remember how the soldiers went out?
You're hanging yourself?
I don't know if there's going to be an end to the mist. And everything there is much stronger than I could possibly hope to be. I don't really have much of a way of defending myself against giant mosquito, scorpion, bugs, and, you know, pterodactyls and whatever the fuck that crab thing was, or the tentacle, or, you know, the big elephant-ish thing at the very end there.
Honestly, if I knew the spiders were just right next door, I think that'd be
and the spiders. And the spiders.
I think that'd be it for me, dude.
Because not only were the spiders, you know, just at the fucking store, they were all over the fucking town.
Oh, yeah.
Like, at his house, they were at the cars in the streets that were flipped over, which, side note, how did that one car make it through, but all the others, you know, were flipped and destroyed? But, you know, spiders fucking moving. Ain't no way.
No.
Ain't no way.
No, I think I'm at a 4. And I think that I wouldn't be killed by anything in the mist. I think genuinely I would start fist fighting cult members, and I would just be another one they stab and just get thrown out into there, because I'd be so fucking sick of hearing that bitch.
Shut up.
Yeah. I'd be like, shut the fuck up, you dirty. And that's it. That's it. It's wraps for me.
And now I gotta bleep that out on YouTube.
Whatever. This was Red Light Homies.
Yes,
we hope you enjoyed this. It's the longest episode we've ever put out. That's mostly due to the conversation. But even then, if you take out the conversation we had, the 13 minutes, it's still close to 2 hours. Hopefully you stayed till the end. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I want to put some work in to cut this down a little bit. Might have to.
But if you're here, make sure you like, rate, and share. We very much appreciate you guys for listening to the full thing, watching the full thing. And now if you could do us one more favor and like, rate, and share, especially rating, especially sharing. Z, what's a rating these people can leave?
I have to agree with Z on how the Mist ending was, but I will say that just means it was a great ending. You hated it.
But also sharing, whether that's sharing to whatever platform, clicking that crooked arrow, whatever platform that you choose, or word of mouth is very important. If you're at work, you got someone coming up to you and they're like, yo, what are you listening to? Huh? Is some horror movie related? Because I'd love to listen to something about horror movies. Z, what do you say?
Well, you could head on over to the boys, Jackie and Z, where this is what I'm listening to, because they're talking about some of my 3 favorite horror films. You know, The Mist, The Thing, and A Quiet Place.
Absolutely. This was the homies, Jackie and Z.
That's me.
And we'll see y'all next Monday.
Peace out.
Rolling up a little bit of pie. Rolling with some shit that's fine. Fine shit hard on a 9. I'm rubbing on the tabs on the spine. Rolling through in the 8. Wake up, be on the grind.